everyone, welcome, and thanks for watching this video on the use case of Layer7 Operator. I'm Pamela Deason, Marketing Manager for Layer7 API Security here at Broadcom. And today, presenting our use case will be Greg Thompson. Thank you, Greg, for joining.
Thanks, Pam. I'm a product manager for the Layer7 API security solution. And as you mentioned, we're going to talk about the Layer7 operator today, which helps our customers really enjoy the full power of cloud-native environments in Kubernetes. Let's get started. The Kubernetes operator is a standard component of Kubernetes, and the Layer7 operator is built off of this standard SDK component. The purpose of operators are to automate the management of the complex stateful applications in the Kubernetes environments. The Layer7 operator extends this functionality of Kubernetes by encoding the domain-specific knowledge and expertise to handle deployment, scaling, updates, and backups. The intent here is to automate and reduce any manual effort as much as possible to take full advantage of the cloud-native environment through Kubernetes. The Layer7 operator provides the expert Layer7 knowledge to take full advantage of the Kubernetes environment. Support is currently available across Gateway, Portal, and OTK. And the Layer7 operator provides unique support for ephemeral gateways, including dynamic configuration in code, and enhances the support for ephemeral gateways with the Layer7 API portal. Additional unique capabilities include the built-in support for automating CI/CD with configuration as code from multiple sources of truth, whether this is from GitHub or even from the API portal, and integrates with external secrets, keys, and certificate management. Here's a look at the Layer7 operator architecture. We have gateway custom resources, which define any changes to gateway configuration and are constantly monitored by the Layer7 operator to be deployed. We have the repository custom resources, which reflect changes from any of the sources of truth. We have the Layer7 API custom resource, which represents any changes from the API developer portal. We also have the ground to cloud agent, which is responsible for monitoring the API developer portal for any changes, and it creates the appropriate Layer7 and gateway custom resources, which are monitored by the operator for deployment. Let's take a closer look at this. We will first look at how to install the operator. The terminal window at the top will be used for commands to deploy the operator, while the bottom terminal will be used to show logs. First, we'll run the kubectl command against the Layer7 operator repository. This will install and launch the operator in the demo namespace. We can see the installation of the operator start and the status of the pods below. Next, we're going to add repositories for the Layer7 operator to monitor. In this case, we have an API repository and also a framework repository. We can then run the kubectl command to get the repositories to show that they are now associated with the demo project. Here's an example of the YAML file. We can see where repositories can be added as both public or private. The main gateway YAML file can be used to default any of the YAML files that are used just like a traditional Helm deployment. We'll notice a slight difference here in the license format. In this section, we're setting the username and password for policy manager access later. And the repositories mentioned below can also be added here via the YAML file. Note that a repository can be dynamic or static. Dynamic will be applied automatically without a gateway restart, whereas static will be deployed automatically but will require a gateway restart. Additionally, some entities can be defined via the YAML file, such as cluster-wide properties. We'll next deploy the Layer7 gateway using the kubectl command based on the mygateway YAML file. And below, we'll see the gateway begin to start up. While the startup is happening, you can look at the logs in real time and tell them to see the progress of the gateway startup. Once the gateway is started, you can see the operator apply the commits for the Gateway My APIs repository here at the end. Now we'll look at service deployments with the Layer 7 operator. Once the gateway is up and running, you can access Policy Manager to log into the gateway. Here you can see the Graphman was deployed based on the YAML file definition. And you can also see some initial APIs were created based on our dynamic repository. We'll also notice that policy fragments were deployed from the static repository. We have the cluster-wide properties here we defined in the YAML file, as well as an additional one deployed from the static repository. We also have a JDBC connection that was defined via the framework repository. Now let's take a look at the actual GitHub repository, which represents a Graphman bundle that was previously exploded and then stored into GitHub as a central source of truth. Here we have a.json as a cluster-wide property. You can see the values here. We also have b.json representing another cluster-wide property. The JDBC connection is also represented here. You will see the tree matches the format of the policy manager, and we see the other policy fragments here defined here within the static repository as well. In the API repository, we have 3 APIs currently existing. And these are the APIs that we saw previously in the policy manager. And so let's go and add some new APIs. To do this, we're going to add APIs 4, 5, and 6. And so we're going to upload these into GitHub, and then we'll perform a commit to commit those changes. Now the changes are committed. We can see those now in the repository. And at this point, the operator will be able to notice the commit and will apply those changes to the gateway. By default, the operator is monitoring the repository once every 10 seconds. Here we can see the logs show that it has picked up those APIs and those have now been applied. And if we go to the policy manager, we can refresh. And here we'll see our new APIs 4, 5, and 6 deployed dynamically from that dynamic repository.
That was a lot of great information, Greg. Thank you for presenting. And I'm sure all of our viewers appreciate you taking the time to do this. And thanks everyone for watching. Be sure to look for additional videos on Layer 7 API security use cases that will be coming soon. Bye for now.